Yeah, I mean, watching the tape from last night against South Carolina, it was what I figured. I mean, it was a hectic ending. Some things didn't go our way, but we just found a way to win. And there's going to be a lot of them like that. And you got to have resiliency. You got to be able to figure something out. And it's a learning experiences from what we did right and what we did wrong in the game. We're a work in progress, trying to get better, and we're in these situations. Many times this year, hopefully we show growth if we're picking up things the right way. And then now it's on to Tennessee, and a tremendous challenge. One of the best, if not the best team in the country. Unbelievable defensive team, and to just have such a good culture and know the ways about them. Having a point guard like Ziegler around for years, and just stability there, and added great transfers, and obviously great coach. So big challenge. Something we're excited about, but big challenge on Saturday.
What do you know about the rivalry? What have you told your guys about it?
Well, we haven't talked about it yet. Our first outing is going to be this afternoon, and it's when you're at different places, you understand kind of the intensity with rivals and the rivalry games. And I've been a part of some good ones. Excited about this one. Excited about the fans, the crowd, the energy, and we can't let that get caught up in us trying to perform our job and do the best we can there. But it's going to be a great atmosphere.
Have you spoken to any former players or coaches about what it's like between these two schools?
No, I haven't. But talking to a lot of former players, but not about this subject. And I'm sure that any former player or alumni or fan, they're going to make sure at 2:30 on Saturday they're either going to be here or watch it. And I'm sure it's the guys who played here, but also many others too.
Do you approach a rivalry any different, knowing that you're not only you, but most of your team has never experienced this rivalry?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of guys on my team have experienced this rivalry, but I got older guys, and they've been in different variations of some good ones across the country. But now we're into this one, and we're not going to approach it any other way. I mean, like, we give every single thing to every game, and we're not going to give any more to this one than we will the one before this or one after it. But I know it's intensified with the fans and the attention, so we do know that part of it, but we go in every single game doing the best we can and prepare the hardest we can.
This begins a stretch of Tennessee, Bama, Kentucky all in a row. I mean, how important is this stretch to see kind of also where you guys stack up against teams that consistently make the tournament year after year? Too?
Yeah, I mean, it's daunting if you look at, what's in front of us, but then at the same time, we can only play the next game. And so we'll put everything into Tennessee, and then after that, learn from it, what we did right, what we did wrong, and regroup, and then go to the next one. But I think sometimes if you look too far down the line, it can be intimidating, or sometimes you can get frustrated or get anxiety. And we're just gonna put everything in the next one. When this one's over, we'll do the same thing again.
You mentioned Tennessee is one of the better defensive teams in the country. What does a good offensive game look like? What do you have to do to have a good offensive game against them?
Yeah, their defense is incredible. I coached against Tony Bennett at UVA, and when you're going against teams like this, like Tennessee and like Tony Bennett's UVA teams, it's a chore to score, and you're trying to find different ways, and it's not easy. Sometimes you get an open shot, and you're so surprised you get an open shot that you won't make that, just because you're like, hey, I can't believe they made a mistake. Just figuring out ways. Obviously, our defense has got to be good, and you're not going to go out and score 80, 90 points on them. It's just not going to happen. So embrace the game, try to finish, try to make some shots, try to find some ways. And I don't have that answer today. Got 2 more days to try to figure out a way.
You mentioned Ziegler. What does he do for them, and how do you approach defending him, but also just approaching his game as a whole?
Yeah, you watch Ziegler, and as a coach, you just admire everything he does on the court. He's a winner. His demeanor, running the team and making plays, and he's not a stat guy. I think the stat for him is winning, and so having somebody like that be the anchor of your program is really good, and having somebody that's been year after year and being there. So when those new transfers come in who are really talented, they got somebody to lean on. So tremendous respect for him. Defense, one of the best in the country. Offense, intangibles. I mean, he just does it all.
Have you ever crossed paths with Coach Barnes before? And what kind of relationship was there before you took the job here, if at all?
Yeah, I think I'm supposed to hate Coach Barnes, But I can tell you, my second day on the job, he called me and we had a long talk, and couldn't have been more genuine. Welcomed me into the league and asked if I needed help. And you know, I guess we're supposed to hate him, but he's a good guy. He's genuine, and he is who he is. So great respect for him and everything he's done.
We saw some Memorial magic last night. Memorial, this might be the most packed you've probably seen it yet. You know, what are you hoping to see, I guess, out of this crowd? And what will very likely be just a packed house?
Yeah, I love having our students back. You know, we had a great crowd against Mississippi State, and we actually felt disappointed we didn't win the game for our fans. They came out and gave us a great environment, and then, you know, similar yesterday against South Carolina, a good crowd, and we know it's going to be amped up even more against Tennessee. So we need a positive, loud, intimidating environment. We need to try to keep the orange out of the building the best we can, and it's what college basketball is about. You know, you work a lot of days to be able to play in a fun environment like that in a game like this.
Obviously, the shot making probably hasn't been exactly where you'd want at this point, but you guys haven't turned it over a whole lot. How do you just evaluate the offense as a whole right now?
Yeah, the offense hasn't been clicking, and it's a couple things. You know, if we finish 2 or 3 more times around the basket, which we should, we're not finishing around the basket. If we make 2 or 3 more threes a game, you know, those things kind of alleviate, and we're getting good shots, open shots. Not all of them, but more than we're actually converting on. So we do got to do some tweaking, some things to fix, and the way this league is right now, I mean, there's great defensive teams. The athleticism, kind of the physicality, you know, has affected our offense. I think we've done a good job responding on our defensive side to be good that way, but our offense needs to come up some.
Feels like Tyler Tanner starts a lot of sparks and runs for you guys. How big has he been, and I guess how do you manage him minutes-wise down the stretch here in SEC play?
Yeah, I mean, we're trying to expand his minutes. You know, he was doubtful for yesterday's game. He had an injury in practice, and we didn't know if he was going to be able to play yesterday, but he's tough. He doesn't look that way in his face, but he's actually really tough, and we do need to expand him. We need to be more aggressive. He is a playmaker, can do more things on offense. His defense is incredible. A lot of times you talk about that run, it's usually with his defense making the great play for us.
Going back to Saturday, it felt like Murray Boyles got frustrated. You guys were trapping a lot. Is that the same method against Tennessee on Saturday, and then even moving forward with a lot of good post players?
Yeah, I mean, you try to use your strengths and weaknesses. You know, we're not the biggest team in the world, but at the same time, we do have some things we can do well. And we go into each game trying to, you know, give ourselves the best chance to win. And, you know, whether it's how we play a certain player or a scheme or whatever else, we'll make adjustments. But I think our guys are really bought in, you know, to understanding game plan, understand and give ourselves the best chance to win. And, you know, we're going to need the same thing, not just, you know, the next game, but every single game in the SEC.
Closing seconds of a half or a game say a lot about a relationship between a coach and their players. Hogard seems to be the guy that you just give the ball and trust in. What's that been like, kind of learning him and him learning you?
Yeah, I mean, he's an experienced guy. And, you know, right now in these games, we're trying to create offense, and we'll do it different ways. We got multiple guys that can score. We have been leaning on AJ in some SEC games. And, you know, I thought we did a great job closing the half out yesterday. Jason Edwards made a big 3 there to send us into halftime. And then AJ's shot at the end of the game was a good quality shot. I think he has the ability to score, also pass the ball. And then, you know, that his kind of just dripped off and then right to Devin's hands. But I got trust in multiple guys. But we've used AJ here, you know, in the SEC games because his experience, and he's been coming through for us and playing well.
You guys have forced so many turnovers throughout the beginning of the year. Now you start to play guys like Kai Ziegler, Mark Sears, guys who don't turn it over a whole lot. Is there any adjustment that's required defensively there, or is it just continue to be aggressive every game like that?
Yeah, I mean, when you see matchups and good players like that, it ain't going to be just one-on-one. You know, we're a team defense, and you know, other guys got to be in the right position. A lot of our turnovers yesterday came from off the ball, of guys being in the right spot with the game plan. So we just want to be aggressive. We want to be in the right spot and be aggressive, and you know, really good guards. You know, they're not going to turn it over, but at the same time, team defense can maybe just help out a little bit.
With Grant Huffman, is he sick? And if you have to play without him again, how do you have to play differently? How did you have to play differently last night?
Yeah, I can just talk about last night. We were definitely different last night. A good ball handler, great on the ball defense, and you know, he actually had a good scoring output against Mississippi State. you know, we'll learn more about his status today. You know, he's trying to get himself back and right, and yeah, he wanted to play yesterday, but I mean, you could look at his face and it just wasn't there.